Hey guys, welcome to the Something About Tuesdays podcast. I'm your host, Phebe Joi. Join me every other Tuesday for a lighthearted podcast to keep you company while you do your thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Something About Tuesdays, episode 66. I'm your host, Phebe Joi, and hi, hey, and welcome. Hello, everybody. I hope your last couple weeks have been good. I do hope they've been good. Ours have been great. Just to quickly touch on weather, you know how I was excited about the weather cooling down and being like lovely and amazing and leading into fall. Well, it has gone back up. It's been like upper 80s, touching the 90s a bit, and I'm like, oh, okay, that was that false fall that sometimes we get, and I understand. It was the very end of August, very beginning of September. So right now it's warm again. It's pretty warm, but that's okay. It gets me still excited about fall. I am leaning there. I'm not ready to decorate yet. I'm not there yet, but it's coming soon. I do think definitely by like the first day of fall, which is what, September 21st, 2nd. I think I'll be ready by then. But I am still enjoying, I don't say I'm enjoying the hot weather, but I'm enjoying the very end of summer because I know once fall gets here, man, it's just going to come and just be here. And I'm ready for it. Like I'm totally like ready for my chai latte, which I get regardless of the season, but ready for my chai latte, ready for fall vibes, sweaters, things. I don't know when fall became such a vibe. Like I don't know when, why, or how, but I'm here for it. I like it. I mean, I like all the seasons, but yeah, totally bring on the fall vibes. But anyway, hi everybody. Last I left off with you guys, I had mentioned that I would be doing my gender reveal. I can't remember if I think I recorded the week before the reveal. So the reveal happened last week. So it's that week in between these 2 weeks. And yeah, I had my gender reveal, you guys. And if you are friends with me on Facebook, then you already know. But if not, if you're like, I do not do social media, I do not do Facebook, Instagram, none of the things, then I will let you know now. So my mom is the one who set up the gender reveal, and we originally planned to do it at our house, mine and Hub's. And I was like, let's do a cookout, let's do something small. I had no intention really to do a gender reveal, um, just because I'm like, I'll just look at the envelope. Like we have it written on an envelope, and I'm like, we can just look at it, and that's that's good enough for me. Like, yay, the surprise, and that's all I need. Like, I don't need anything big. I hardly need anything. I just, want to know the gender. And even then, like, I probably could have waited a few more weeks and still been fine. Because everybody's like, how do you not look at the envelope? And I'm like, really? I'm fine. But though my husband, I will say, he's chomping at the bit to know. He has wanted to know from the beginning. He's like, let me know, what are we having, girl or boy? And I'm teen boy, and I because I was like, I really would like a son. I was like, my sister and I, there's my sister and me, and so it's been like girls in the family, and I never had a brother, and I was like, I always wanted a brother. And I've had friends tell me brothers are overrated. I'm just kidding. But I was like, man, I wanted my little son, and my husband, on the other hand, he wanted a little girl. And he's like, I really want a girl. I don't know why. He didn't give me any reason. He's like, he just wants a girl. So I was like, okay. So we were both on opposing sides, which I think is great because it's almost like you got to have somebody rooting for somebody, right? Because it's either going to be a girl or a boy. And what if you knew that both your parents really wanted the other gender? And you're like, oh, at least this way, you know that at least one of the parents really wanted your gender. Now, both parents could care less. They just want you, right? A healthy baby. But, to have a fun preference is fine. But I like the way that we both kind of wanted something different. I think that's, I don't know, it makes it more fun. It makes it more of like, okay, let's see who gets it, like who's going to win this round, even though it's not anything to be won. But I kind of liked that we both wanted something different. So I was very vocal and adamant about wanting a boy. And my husband was likewise adamant about wanting a girl. So anyway, so my mom was like, I can do a little gender something. And I was like, Okay. I mean, if you feel like it, because if she didn't, I wasn't going to do anything. I was going to invite a couple friends over and we were going to have pink and blue cupcakes, and you can eat the cupcake for the one you voted for. And then I was going to open the envelope in front of everybody and just be like, hey, it's a girl or it's a boy. Right. That was it. But my mom was like, I could do a little something, something. So I was like, all right, mom. So as I said, we originally were going to do a little something at the house. And I was like, let's just do a cookout, something easy, you guys, because I'm not trying to, when I'm trying to take it easy, but then I just don't want to also add the stress of planning like a party, which is why I'm glad mom was like, I can, do kind of the decorating party aspect of it. And we were just pretty much just provide the food and everything. And so I was like, let's do a cookout because my husband's a pretty good griller, and grilling out's easy. We have good weather. Now's the time to do it, right? Like when it's not too hot, not too cold, um, and where people can enjoy being inside or outside or what have you. So we were going to do that, and then my husband and I, we have been for since we've gotten our house, debating whether or not to concrete our driveway. Right now, or for the longest, we had a gravel driveway, because we have a very long driveway and it was going to be very expensive to try to blacktop it concrete or whatever. Well, we managed to save up enough to try to get it concreted. And so in July, we were like, hey, let's go ahead and get this thing concreted. So we called the guy, set it up, and signed whatever contract. And he was like, okay, we'll be out in the next few weeks. So here we are come, August, September. And I was like, okay, it's fine. When are they going to come? In the next week or two. And when are they going to come? In the next week or two. Well, then guess what? It was the next week or two. And they were like, okay, we're going to come the next week or two. I'm like, I have a party planned in a week and a half. Like, if you're going to come now or wait till after the party. Like, I'm going to need this done, like done, either done or not done. And I wanted it done for the party. Like, I want to be like, this is my new driveway. But they did it about literally 7 days before the party. That it was the Friday before. So I guess 8 days technically before the party. And they started it and it got done. But you have to let it like set and cure and all that stuff. And then we even had some rain in there, and I was like, we can't. We paid way too much money, for people to be driving their cars on this concrete if it ain't done, because we ain't paying to get it fixed again. So we were like, okay, let's not do the party at our house, because I was starting to stress over. Like I was like dreaming about it and thinking about it, and I just couldn't. My little brain was like, oh my goodness, about this and what about that? And so luckily I was like, okay, mom, can we have it at your place? Which thank God, like my mom is very good at opening her home to people. Always has been. Which has been like I remember back when I used to do the book club. And if times where I was like, I can't have people at my house right now, mom's like, easily, she can have it at her house. She keeps her house clean, so it's not like too stressful for her. Even though she will like clean it extra if people are coming, but she, it's always welcoming for anybody. And she's one of those, I love this, but she's one of those like, I mean, you can bring your family, if you got children, you can bring, I am so nervous about children coming to my house. Not all children, because some children are very well behaved, and and I trust them and I trust their parents. And then some children aren't as well behaved. And so those are the kids that worry me. Like I haven't lived in my house long enough to be like, oh, it's fine if they spill this Coke on my carpet. Like I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I will care. Now, some of you guys are being like, oh, wait till you have kids. Ha, 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 ha. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, it's different when it's your kid. But sorry, not I'm sorry. Sometimes, y'all, I'm not gonna blame it on the pregnancy, but I will say, man, I can talk a lot and I can say the things that come to my mind. So let's just say these next few episodes of the podcast, as my pregnancy brain continues to be pregnant, and I blame my steroids too that I'm on as far as like the speed of which I talk and the speed of which I say things. I won't say without thinking about it because I do think about it, but I say things with less concern for how it may sound as maybe I used to. But anyway, so I'm not to that point yet of feeling entirely comfortable with every child at my house. And so um I love that part about mom is that she's pretty comfortable there and perhaps because she's raised two kids, she knows I'm not there yet. I don't claim to be there yet. I don't claim to know. I just know where I am right now. And so I love and appreciate that. And so we moved it to her house. And so mom was able to decorate it at her house. And she decorated, and I didn't even expect her to decorate as big as she did. Okay. I was thinking like a couple of balloons, like a pink and blue balloon or something. Like just a couple of balloons and a couple of pink and blue things around the house. Like that was it. Like literally, that was all I was thinking. But when I got there, you guys, oh, so when I got there, when I came in, there was like the streamers over the door, not the initial door, but there's like a doorway that you go into the rest of the house, and there was like pink and blue streamers with a balloon at the top of that my sister had put together, and walking through those, that you just know you've entered a party when you've walked through some streamers, right? So walking through those, I was like, oh my goodness, good vibes. And then in the living room or the family room, she had a balloon arch of pink and blue, and then had like the baby boxes, and then the he or she board, and then the voting board for people to vote if they wanted boy or girl, which was an aspect that I did want. Like I wanted people to kind of vote on which one they wanted or which they thought. And y'all, I was surprised. I was taken aback a little bit. I wasn't expecting all that, but it looked great, and I was so excited to see it, and it warmed my little heart. I was like, oh, gee, and I was like, this is like an actual celebration, and so I definitely loved it. I loved to take the pictures in front of it. I will say I love taking the pictures in the aspect of the decor. I am not a fan of taking pictures right now, you guys. I will say, like the body changes, and I am like, huh, okay, this is how I look now. This is me now. Um, it's more on that later. Trust me, more on that later. You guys are gonna get all of it. But I totally enjoyed the balloon arch that my mom had done, and was very impressed by it. And then, so we brought in my husband and I, we had grilled the meat in advance, that just literally like right before the party, and brought all the meat in, and then people were rolling in. And like I said, not a lot. I invited just a handful of people. Um, and and we so they brought in like sides, because my sides, y'all, my friend was making fun of me too, because I was like, we're bringing meat and chips. Those are the sides, meat and chips with I think I said I would also do a potato salad. I was like, if you want something else as a side, you gotta bring it. I know, but y'all, my stress level. And so my friends, they totally showed up and out. We had a couple of pasta salads, we had mac and cheese. Um, and then we had some desserts that were just absolutely delicious. And so my little gathering ended up being quite nice. And then and so we ate, and y'all, I ate. Y'all, I can eat. I'm gonna just leave that there. I can eat, and it's been enjoyable. So I ate a couple of plates and everything, and then my mom was like, "Okay, let's move on to the reveal part." I was like, "Okay, okay, okay." And so what my mom had done is she had a box, and inside the box were balloons. And so when we opened the box, balloons were supposed to fly out. Notice I said supposed to fly out. We opened the box and nothing came out. And I was like, what? And then I look in the box and all I see are white balloons. And I'm like, what? And then hidden in the white balloons, I see a pair of little pink shoes. And I was like, okay, it's a girl. So my husband, of course, was quite excited. He was like, yes. I mean, he did victory arms at the end and everything. And I, of course, expressed my disappointment and was like, oh man, it's not a boy, but also expressed love for the fact that I'm going to be very excited to have a girl. I truly am, you guys. I wanted my boy 100%. I wanted my son, but I am 100% excited to have my girl. So it's great all around. But I will say, when the balloon did come out, I was like, "What?" And my mom told me, she's like, "I had a pink balloon in there, and it popped." And she's like, "It didn't stay in there, and we finally got it in there, and then I heard a pop, and it popped." And she was just like, "So that's what happened." I was like, "Ah, okay." And that's perfectly fine, but. Anyway, so it is a girl. We are having a little girl, and I'm very excited about that. And yeah, so yay, yay for us, yay for Team James. That's my husband. That's his name. Sometimes people are like, "What?" Because I never call him that. But yes, that is his name. And yeah, so we are very excited to be having a girl. Now. All right. So I will have to say, this last couple of weeks, I haven't had a choice to do this, but I've also chosen to do this. And that is, I am leaning into my pregnancy just a bit, like leaning into the fact that I am indeed pregnant. Now, obviously, I have been, and I'm excited about it. And y'all know there's still nerves around it, but I'm excited overall. But I'm, okay, I'm in second trimester, right? So when this is, as recording this, I'm 20 weeks. Woohoo! This is officially the halfway point. It's exciting, but also it's like, oh my goodness, I'm only halfway there. Like, oh my goodness, I feel like I've been here forever already. Um, but so I was like, okay, so this is it's getting I'm not saying I ever hid it, but now it's like you can't really hide it. Like not as easily or not if at all. And so I'm leaning into my pregnancy and definitely having no choice. And let me tell you why, okay? There are a few things that are letting me know that I to the outside person, I now look pregnant. I now look different than how I was before. That's how I'm going to put that. And we're going to start with my phone. hmm My phone is one of the first things that is letting me know that I look a little different. How is it doing that, you might ask? Okay, two ways. One, the first way is kind of hurtful, and that is it's taken my phone a little longer to recognize my face. When you know how it pops up and it's like to open anything or whatever and it needs your face. When I say now it always takes like one or two times. Like it always used to take like one time and then one more. And I think it just did it for good measure. But like there have been moments where it's like, this isn't you. Nope. This isn't you. Nope. And I'm like, but phone. It is me. It's just me with a slightly rounder face. And y'all, that has hurt my feelings. I'm like, my phone is struggling to recognize me right now. Okay, so that's that was like hint number one that I am glowing. I'm not gonna call it growing with an R, but I'm gonna call it glowing with an L. So that's hint number one. The second hint was every time I open my phone to go to take a picture and it is on and it's on like the selfie mode and I see my face, y'all, I surprise myself. I'm like, oh, that is what I look like. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, this is what I look like now. Because when I'm not looking at myself, I still kind of picture how I've looked for the last, I don't know, 5 years of my life. Pretty much that's kind of like how I looked. But my face, and I feel like I have drastically in my brain changed in the last month, even. And it's surprising. Like I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, that's what I look like now. And y'all, I don't know if any, actually, I do think other pregnant people have said this before. Not all, because some pregnant people like go throughout their whole pregnancy and look exactly the same except their bellies. That is not me, not in the least. I wish maybe if I was, 10 years ago when I was 25 instead of 35, maybe it would have been different. Maybe it would have been exactly the same. But I am one of those who like pregnancy's hitting, like it's hitting it's hitting. And it's so funny because I remember thinking before I've ever been pregnant, I was like, I'm gonna be one of those people who I just my belly's gonna get big. That's all. That's what I'm claiming. That's what I just know what'll happen. And then the Lord said, not, no. So so I am having to get used to the fact that my face is rounder. It's a lot rounder. It could be just the pregnancy, but also could be the steroids too. I do know that plays a factor. It has before. I have been on steroids before for almost 9 months, and my little cheeks got a little round then, and so I know it's kind of a side effect, and so I think that plays a part too. But it's just I think in my brain it's just happened so quickly. Like within a few weeks, I'm like, oh my goodness, I look so different to me. But also I believe to others, my phone as an example. But anyway, and so, but I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning to try to accept this new look. It's hard. Everybody's like, it'll pass. This won't be forever. It may not be forever, but it's showing up is right now. Okay. But So I am learning to accept my glowing face, not growing, but glowing face. Um, and so anyway, so that was my phone letting me know, right? But the phone's not the only thing that has let me know that my face is indeed just glowing these days. And one is so y'all got a few kid stories, but one of them is one of my students I had last year. I haven't seen much this year because I work still with kindergarten and first grade, and this kid is now in second. And I was standing in the car rider line, and while I was there, he was standing in line too, and I was about to let him go out. And our assistant principal came up, and she had said something about, and Miss McGahey, da da da. And when I say this kid that I worked with all last year looked at me and was like, "That's Miss McGahey," and I was like, "You didn't recognize me?" Like, y'all. The things. I'm just like, oh, okay. Yep, he didn't recognize me. I was like, I don't think I look that much different, but apparently I do. And so yeah, that was one of those moments. I was like, oh, okay. All right. And I was like, you know what? I gotta start leaning into this. It's just what I'm gonna have to do. Um, and so we're not done. We are not done. I was gonna go into something else, but let's continue on the school school moments lately of being a newly obvious pregnant person. That's what we'll say, newly obvious. Like in another month, it'll be super obvious, right? Like in 2 months, it's gonna be undeniable. And that's what I'm looking for. I want that. That means things are going well. But man, I don't know that people talk about this beginning phase of like when people are starting to either realize that you look different because you just look different or realize you look different because you're pregnant, right? They don't know. They don't know which one it is. And so an example of that, so I was in a meeting with some of the teachers, and I would say about most of the teachers know that I'm expecting, but not everybody. And um, but I had mentioned I was like, hey, I had an ultrasound this week that went really good. Which you guys, I did. I had an ultrasound this past week, and it went good. Everything was measuring good, which is like yay. And they did a 3D ultrasound just for like a couple seconds, or a couple minutes, I would say, and during that 3D ultrasound, I was able to see my little girl yawn or like open and close her mouth. I don't know if it's a yawn or just breathing. I have no idea. But it was really cool to see that. And so I was sharing that in this meeting, and one of the teachers, she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were pregnant." She's like, and I didn't want to say anything because you know not to ask, right? Like, yeah, because you could have just been gaining weight. And I was like, oh. Like, okay, like I understand. You're right. You don't know that I'm pregnant. But she was like, but she noticed that I was gaining weight though. I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Yeah, thank you. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, thank you. I am pregnant. It's fine. Um, and not just gaining weight, not just because I am gaining weight, but not just because. But anyway, and so I thought that was great. So another moment happened. I was in the classroom. Y'all, there's so many of these moments. They're just fresh. Another moment happened. I was in the classroom. There's two moments I'm gonna share with you. One of them, it was the first grade class. I was sitting at the table and we were sitting there and they were talking about what they can be. It was after a counseling lesson and they were talking about, I am flexible, I am strong, I am kind, I am respectful, all those things. And the little guy said, I am flexible. And somebody else, like, I am flexible too at the table. I'm flexible. And then the other little boy said, and I can do push ups. And the little girl said, I can do push ups too. And I said, I can't do push ups. And she was like, I know why you can't do push ups. I said, why can't I do push ups? And she said, it's because your belly's fat. Y'all. I was like, oh, now I'm glad she highlighted that it was my belly. Like at least she kind of targeted one area. But y'all, I wasn't ready for that. I was like, well, that may not be the reason I can't do push-ups, but you're right, I can't do push-ups, and maybe that is part of the reason why. Y'all, literally, words, belly and fat. I was like, okay, I love it. I love you guys. Y'all are just too precious and tell the truth. So the next little school thing, I told you I've got a few of them. Now this one, this is not her fault by any means, and it's all me. It was a little girl. I came in, and so I've thrown a lot of like semi kind of negative comments. Y'all know I don't care that much. To me, it's humorous. It's just life. That's where we are. But but it is good to hear some positive things. And this little girl, I had walked in, and she was like, "I like your dress. Your dress is so pretty." And I was like, "Thank you so much." So I was sitting next to her, helping her do stuff, and being one of the symptoms that I've had is just that I mean, I'm just I can burp like crazy. I know it sounds terrible. I even hate to admit that on the podcast, but like just my tummy fills with gas, and then it's like I have to burp, and I'm like, oh, I'm just burping all day long. And so I was sitting there, and I was trying to do the quiet ones. Y'all know, like the quiet, like the ones that you just kind of like burp in your throat. I guess like you don't open your mouth or anything, but it's just like a belch in your throat. I don't know how else to describe it. You've done it before though. And so I did a couple of those, and she just looked. She goes, "What is that noise?" And I look at her, I was like, what? What noise? What? I'm not sure. I don't know what you're talking about." She was talking about my belching. I was like, oh my goodness, she can hear that. Which I know other people can hear. Like, I've heard it when other people have done it. It just doesn't, faze me because I know they're just burping in their mouth as they should. But I was like, oh no. So if you hear me burping or belching, please just let it ride. I'm so sorry. So all of these things are pointing me towards I just got to lean into being pregnant, right? And now that my stomach is protruding even more, then I definitely am like, okay, I can lean into this. I can, you know what? We're pregnant now. We're claiming it. We're halfway there. We can do this. And so I'm leaning into it and being like, I can do this. One of the ways, so now I have to give you examples of how I've how I've done this. Okay, so y'all know that I'm trying to take things easy, um, being very cautious with how much I'm walking, versus how much I'm sitting, just how tired I'm feeling, pressure, all the things, and being very cognizant of what's going on in my body. And so for the gender reveal party, we had to pick up some things. Well, we originally was gonna have Kroger deliver um the stuff that we needed for the gender reveal. But because of our driveway, we were like, we cannot have this big old refrigerated truck on our driveway. So then we had to change it. And I was like, I can go to the store with mom and pick up some things, and that's what we'll do. And I will do a couple trips if we have to. Well, of course I go to Kroger with mom, and I didn't think about it, but mom was like, "Why don't you ride? Because you can't walk all of this." And I was like, "This is true." She's like, "Why don't you ride the little motorized cart?" And I was like, "Oh, we can make this work." You guys, okay, let's talk about Phoebe's adventure on the motorized cart at Kroger. Okay, which I'll admit, we were in there for a minute, so it was really good to be able to sit down and ride versus doing all that walking up and down on that concrete. And, but let me say, first off, it's a learning curve. It is when you go to sit on it, first it's like a social experiment. It felt like a social experiment because I was like, okay, I wonder if people are wondering why I'm sitting here. And I'm thinking like, and I don't know that I've ever cared about who sat in a motorized car. Honestly, I haven't. But when you're the one, you're like, oh my goodness, are people looking at me? Are they wondering like, what's her deal? Like, what's going on with her? Because I'm young, mostly you see older people on those carts, and so I was like, what if they're questioning me? So I was like, I'm gonna try to make my belly look as big as possible. Like if nothing else, they're gonna be like, okay, maybe she's pregnant or something. But so I got on the cart, and first off, it's a learning curve how to do it. Those things move faster than you think. I pushed that button to go like just go forward, and my little neck went back a little bit, like vroom, like it went fast, and it stops very suddenly. It was, at least for me, it was like start stop. It was like relearning how to drive a car. It was ridiculous. Like, it was trickier than I thought, because there's only like a couple of controls, so you really gotta just kind of manage them nicely. So that was one thing that I was like, okay, well, I gotta figure out not to go so fast. Well, the other thing is backing up is so embarrassing because it's the loud beeping. Like I'm already feeling a little like I stand out, right? Because I'm on this thing. And then if I have to back up, it's like beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, don't let everybody know, and I understand to warning and all that stuff, but that was, y'all, it was a little bit embarrassing to back up. So because of that, because you're kind of so aware of how you look and everything, you're just aware of how busy it is. Like I was looking, I'm like, okay, that aisle looks kind of busy. I want to avoid it. And when I was with my mom, I was like, I'm gonna let her go up and down the aisles because I can't navigate this thing. And I was so aware of how many people were there. Normally, I'm in a store, I don't pay attention to anybody. I don't know who's there. I don't know how many people are. If it's super busy, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's super busy. But aside from that, it doesn't phase me. But being in that motorized cart, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's so many people. What if I accidentally hit someone or run them over? Or, what if these little kids are looking at me? Um, I don't want to go down that aisle because it'd be too hard to maneuver between. These are things that I think that like just come to my mind. I'm like, wow, this for people who actually have to use this card all the time, like this is kind of intimidating. And I would just say it gave me perspective. I was like, this is interesting. It's given me some perspective here. I am kind of like I was just more aware of people, and then it made me more empathetic towards people who actually have to do this all the time. But anyway, so another part of that is because you're kind of aware of everything, you start planning ahead. You like, I'm not just going up and down aisles, just go up and down aisles. Sometimes if you're walking, you're like, okay, let me just go down this aisle. If I see anything I need, I'll grab it. Mm-mm. If whatever I need, I got to make a plan to get there. It's like, okay, I need that. I'm gonna go down that way. I'm going to make sure I don't skip aisles that I need to go down because I don't want to have to turn back around, right? Um, and I'm like mapping out like what I'm looking for and what I'm doing. And I'm like, man, this is such a different mindset, just being in the cart or being in this motorized cart versus just kind of doing what you normally do. So yeah, so I will have to say that that was a whole experience. Um, a moment where I had to lean into my pregnancy. I won't say I was forced to, but it was, a choice for me to do that. Um, and it went well, but it was like, oh my goodness, it's a little embarrassing. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Y'all know, but it was interesting. Like, I'm glad I did it. And will I do it again? I don't know. If I have to, I will. But I will say the other thing that I was able to experiment with was Kroger pickup. Husband and I normally do Kroger delivery, but because of this, I needed more things. So I was like, man, I was like, I am not ready to get in that rolly cart again or that motorized cart. So I was like, I would like to order Kroger pickup. And let me just say, if you have not done that, get on that. It was nice because we ordered it and I said I can pick it up when I get off work between 4 and 5. So I left my job and I drive and I wasn't sure where to go, but I kind of just followed where I thought instinctively it would go, like, okay, the side of Kroger. And there were signs and I pulled up and somebody came out and they were like, hey, this is your order. I was like, yes. And they're like, great. They opened the back of my car, put it in, and was like, you're good to go. I was like, that was it. That was great. I was like, okay, Kroger deliver or Kroger pickup. So that was another thing. I'm like, and that would be amazing for like once I have children because you don't have to get out of your car and do everything, and that just makes it so much easier. I don't know who came up with that, but as far as for like accessibility for mothers, for people who may have disabilities, for just busy people. Oh my goodness. Kroger pickup and delivery, phenomenal services. And not just Kroger, that's just who we use, but whatever those services are, y'all look into that because those are, I mean, that's where it is. I was going to say, so I really want to give a shout out to them. That was all awesome. Okay. So then there's one more moment that I have to share where I leaned into and milked my pregnancy just a little bit. And that was, so I had went to Zaxby's and I had ordered online and was just there to pick it up. And it said it would be ready at noon and I got there at 11:58 and I walk in and it wasn't ready, which is fine. Um and so then I stand there and I'm standing next to like the pickup place and I'm standing there for a few minutes. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. And so I put my hand on my belly and I lean a little bit and I put my hand underneath my belly and I just look as pregnant and pitiful as I can. And I think like the manager guy, he came in, he's like, hey, what was your order? And I told him, he's like, let me go check on it. And then he was like, I think someone stole your order. I don't think anybody stole my order. I think they forgot. But he's like, I think someone stole your order. We're going to remake it for you real quick. And I was like, okay, thank you. And while they were standing there, while he went to go make it, I mean, I'm just leaning and my hand on my belly, looking, tired and stuff. And he comes down, he's like, and here, I upgraded your Coke because I just got a regular one. And he gave me like a large. And I was like, oh, thank you. So I went to go get my Coke because I'm a Coke drinker now, by the way. I drink caffeine. Y'all, I was not a caffeine person before being pregnant. I drank water, tea, decaf tea. I could drink caffeinated tea, but really water, tea, lemonade, orange juice. Those are my go-tos. That's all I drank. But y'all know I've been feeling that Chick-fil-A lemonade and Coke, like any type of like Coke, Dr. Pepper, the dark sodas. Um, Root beer, I think I had once. I think I did have once. Sometimes it's a little sweet, but the Coke's been hitting the spot too. And so he brought me that extra large, and I was like, "Thank you so much." And then he brought out my order as quickly as he could, I assume. But I was like, hand on the belly, standing there like, oh, I'm just standing here waiting for my food. This poor pregnant person. I was like, okay, all right. I was like, you know what? I can lean into this. I can milk this a little bit. I think I can do this, especially if I'm gonna be forced to anyway. If everybody is noticing a little something's different, then yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and, and lean in. Um, Okay, so I know I'm sorry, that was a lot of pregnancy talk there. But the next thing I want to say is I wanted to go back to my school thing, and I wrote this down just as a random school story that's unrelated to my expecting a child or anything at all. But I was walking in the hallway. It was this cute moment next to a fifth grader, and she was just singing a song, and I was like, hey, you have a pretty voice. And she was like, thank you. And she's so funny. She said, I know I have a good voice. I have an angel voice. And she goes, but then one time I heard myself on a recording and I surprised myself. And I was like, oh. And she's like, I surprised myself in a bad way. It didn't sound good. When I heard just my voice, I was like, I sound so good. Have the voice of an angel. But when I heard the recording, I was like, that doesn't sound as good. I was like, oh, I understand. But I love that she said she surprised herself in a bad way. Like, I was like, well, I've definitely been there where I've sang a song before, and then you go back to listen to the recording, you're like, huh, okay. I thought I nailed it, thought I killed it, and it was like, well, but hey, we all have days, right? So anyway, so I thought that was too cute. Okay, so the next few things that I want to share is one, so food stuff. This food, I know you're like food, y'all know. I love my food. And what I want to say to that is I made fried chicken. I've made fried chicken before, but it's been a long, long time since I've made it. And my mom was there to help me. And by help me, just direct me with her words. I did the cooking. But I made fried chicken. Yes, like I am quite proud because I've been feeling fried chicken lately. Chicken's been one of the meats that I've been craving. And so I made some fried chicken, and I would like to say that it was very, very good. I think I could do better. It still wasn't as great as like my mom's fried chicken, but I think it was pretty good, and my husband really liked it. So I'm like, okay, we're good to go there. But the other thing that I made that was really good and that I wanted to share with you guys is I made homemade chicken noodle soup for the first time by myself. Now, my husband, he usually makes the chicken noodle soup. He likes to make stuff, so he makes it from scratch or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I want to try to make it, and so I did. And so here's what I did. Okay, so for those of you who want something easy but delicious, and then I'm gonna tell you a little second thing that you can add to it to make it phenomenal. Okay. So first, what I did was I took my chicken, I had chicken breast, and I seasoned them, and then I pan seared them. I don't know. I cooked them. I just cooked it in the pan, with seasoning though. And then while that was cooking, I chopped up my carrots and celery and an onion. I think I did add some onion, carrot, celery, and onion. And after my chicken was like mostly done, I added the carrot, celery, and onion to the same pan with the chicken and sauteed those a little bit, like cooked them up. Y'all, I don't know the correct terms for that, whether I sauteed it, fried it, baked it. I don't know what I did. I just put it in the pan with the chicken. And I added a little bit of garlic, like a spoon of garlic, maybe. minced garlic. And so I just kind of mixed that in there, and y'all, it was smelling so good. The seasoning from the chicken, of course, getting on the vegetables, and it all mixing together and coming together. Well, then while that was going on, I started my pot, and I put in this is literally just what we had. I had chicken broth and I had vegetable broth and I had beef broth. I didn't use all three, but I did use the chicken and the vegetable broth. So I stuck those in there, and I was like, good enough. I am not making my homemade broth. My husband, he did make homemade broth. The last batch of chicken noodle soup we did, like he boiled chicken bones and like I guess bone broth. Yeah, I don't know. He did something overnight for a while and made some type of broth that we made chicken noodle soup with. But anyway, I did it the easy way. Used my two things of that, and then I put in my meat, and I put all my meat and stuff. I just transferred it on over into that pot. And then, wow, when it got a little closer to the time where my husband's getting home, I did put my egg noodles, I think are what they're called, in there, like the big fluffy, twirly kind of noodles. I put those in there, and then I let it cook. And you guys, it was so good. I don't know, like that's all I did. That was literally all I did. I didn't add any extra seasoning either to like the broth or anything. So, but then, okay, so that's if you want your regular chicken noodle soup. If you want to take it to the next level and make it just a little creamier and a little yummier, I did not do this. I split it, okay? Because for not the whole thing, because my husband likes regular chicken noodle soup, but I split it in half, kind of, and in another pot, I added heavy cream and cheese and like sliced cheese. I think I cut it or something, just some cheese, and I stirred that thing up, and you guys, it made the creamy chicken noodle soup. It was like it was regular chicken noodle soup, but it's like just a little creamier, right? If you can imagine that heavy cream and that cheese in there. And it was delicious. And it was good days later. It's one of those like some stuff is usually good, like soups and things, when those seasons can like just sink in. And so I would just want to throw out there, if you are someone who makes normal chicken noodle soup, do it, but add a little bit of heavy cream in there and just watch it transform and just become this creamy, yummy, amazing goodness. So that is what I did. And I'm quite proud. It was very good. And I loved it. And I'm going to have to make it again at some point. But yeah, now my next kind of thing I want to figure out to do, and if you have any suggestions, throw it out there, is I want to figure out how to doctor up and make a really good potato soup. Um, I don't as far as like, I just don't know. I don't know how to make potato soup from scratch. So everything that I use is like, I guess there's a potato soup in a bag that I really like. I think it's Bear Creek. I'm not entirely sure. And I do like theirs, but I want to find a way to doctor it up or figure out how to make my own. So if you are someone who's really good at making potato soup or know someone who's really good at potato soup, send me a message, okay? If you've got like some hint or if you've got some special way that you know that you can make some potato soup that's really good, send it my way because that's kind of like the next soup that I want to try to do something special with that I think would be really, really good. So, speaking of food, I have to tell you guys, I tried a new place, and this place was called Core Life Eatery, I think is what it's called. Core Life something. I think it was Eatery. Core Life. It might just be Core Life. I'm not sure. But it's a bowl place. Now, you guys might remember me telling you about a bowl place that I went to in Bowling Green, and I loved it, and it was so good. Now, this bowl place, not the same as that one. Um, because I don't know that I have the same. I obviously didn't have the same options, but it's slightly different. I think, and just I don't know, different vibes. But it's a bowl place, and BOWL, and it actually ended up being pretty good. I went there, had a good experience. I walk in. And there's this guy, and he's like, hey. And I was like, hey, it's my first time. And so, he gave his suggestions and things. But while I was there, there's this little girl, and she kept talking to me and just sharing things. And she shared with me that the guy who was working was her father. And I was like, how cool is that? And so she kept, talking to me and giving me suggestions along with him and what she liked. And she was like, and then you guys, y'all know I'm trying to get used to my new look, right? And she was like, you are so pretty. And she's like, Dad, you should give her a discount for being pretty. I was like, oh, yeah, yes, please. No, not yes to the discount, but yes to the compliment. Like, little girl, you don't know how much I need to hear that right now. Like, it was the sweetest thing. And she was just talking, talking, talking. And just telling me about her siblings. She was like one of five or something like that. And the dad was just like, he's like, sorry, I was like, fine. Like I love kids, in the correct context. Um, but I was like, "No, it's fine, like, she's great, I don't mind at all," and I was like, "And obviously, you do not have to give me a discount," and he's like, "Yeah," I was like, "That's fine." It's just like, I'm not gonna leave it to but anyway, only because I wasn't sitting in the restaurant, you guys, I was getting it to go. But, so it was super sweet. She was a doll. I appreciated her compliment a lot. As y'all know, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much for telling me that. Thank you for telling me I'm pretty." Um, which is kind of like a reminder that, like, so I know how I used to look. I say used to like it's been years ago, y'all. I know how I used to look as a matter of a few weeks ago, and in my brain how different I look now. But like someone who's never met me, they're not comparing me to who I was. And I think that's like the big thing. Is like, oh my goodness, when people see me, they're gonna compare me to who I was, right? Like, oh, she looks like this, she looks like that. Um, but for people who've never met me, they're just like, hey, you're just another pretty girl. And I'm like, y'all, I appreciate that. That helps. That helps with this transition of appearances, right? So anyway, so I had to write that down because one, she was super sweet, and I was like, oh, I appreciate that you thought I should get a discount. But anywho, all right, you guys. So just a few more things before we wrap up. A very quick hematology office. This is my, my lovely office with my older people, and I had to write this down. It's not a full story, but the front desk lady, y'all know, sometimes she has, I guess her and a registration person sometimes have fun little conversations with each other. And the front desk lady called the lady's name, was like, hey, you are listening. And the other lady was like, girl, talk to the hand. I was like, talk to the hand. What? I was like, this office don't play with each other. Like I was dying. I was like, talk to the hand. How you gonna tell your coworker to talk to the hand? And how you gonna tell your coworker, girl, you weren't even listening to me. Like I get it. Like I'm glad that they talk to each other and give it right back to each other. It's just funny because these are women who are, like I said, they're in their 60s and above. Like this is my older people clinic. But anyway, I just thought that was too precious, so I had to write it down. But you guys, guess what? So, when this comes out, my birthday would have passed, but I'm recording this on a Saturday night. And so tomorrow is my birthday, and I will be the lovely 36. Woohoo. I am blessed to be 36. We plan to go to Mesh again. You guys remember I talked about Mesh? I think for my husband and I, we went for our anniversary and I really liked it. Well, the goal is to go again tomorrow with the fam, and I'm very excited about it. We're going for their brunch, so I'm curious about how that might be different or what food might be the same. I do hope to get that same dessert. I'm totally getting that peanut butter pie, even though I do have a Dairy Queen cake that I'm supposed to be picking up tomorrow for myself. It's the Dairy Queen cookie dough blizzard cake. And my husband, because his birthday is right after mine, he's also getting a cake. He's getting his white vanilla birthday cake. So we are going to be deserted out. Uh, Moments like this, I'm like, could your face possibly be changing not just because you're pregnant and not just because you're on steroids, but maybe because of the amount of food you're consuming? No. But anyway, so I am excited about my birthday tomorrow. Um, and I will have to say, so I part of why I look forward to my birthday tomorrow is that if you've paid attention to the news as of late, then you know that a lot of people, and it's all the time, it's everywhere, it goes on all the time. So it's not to say in the last few weeks that this is more important than what happens all the time. But in the last few weeks, just people have been losing their lives seemingly for for pointless reasons, or for just losing their lives for no reason, no good reason. And and so with that, I'm like, I'm just blessed to be alive, and that's 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 what I just want to say on that. And I was like, I am blessed because y'all know, like, I have a little bit of anxiety around being pregnant this time around. I'm, hoping for the best, believing for the best, but I still have some anxiety and fears that pop up. But I will say that kind of with recent events, I've been like, man, I am blessed that I'm still alive and my baby in my belly still alive. I don't know how long I will be. I don't know how long my baby will be. But for this moment right now, I am happy to be here and I'm blessed to be here because there are people who are not and people who never intended to not be here. Like woke up that day having no idea that that would be their last day. And so I just feel like, man, thank you, Lord, for protecting us and for keeping us. And yeah, I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad my baby's here. So 36, y'all know me in age. Age is a scary thing, but it is such a blessing. And I think, man, I've lived longer than some of these people who have passed in the last few weeks. Like a majority of these people who have passed in the last few weeks have been younger than me. And that just, it hit me. It just hit me a little bit. Um, and it's been multiple people. It's not one person. It's been multiple people. And so I just feel blessed to be here. So happy birthday to myself. Happy birthday to all those out there. And for everybody listening, man, we're blessed to be here. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad we're still here. Um, so thank you, Lord, for that. And I kind of wanted to end on not just that, but also a message my pastor was preaching. Y'all, he's been on it lately, right? He's been on it. And he one of the things he said, and I don't know, I liked it. Um, but he was talking about like basically like keeping your eye on the prize, keep pushing through even through hard stuff. And he said the specific thing. Y'all know sometimes it's the whole message, sometimes it's words, sometimes a phrase, but this phrase stuck out to me. And he said, sometimes you gotta play hurt. And I was like, ooh, I like that. Sometimes even though you got hurt, you still got to play the game. You still got to show up. You still do the thing, right? And that's kind of like that's a lot of life. That's a life lesson right there. That sometimes you still got to play even though you've been hurt. And that's physically like, a sport or whatever. Um and through seasons, right, emotionally and everything. Obviously he's not saying, and I don't believe either that you don't rest sometimes when you're weary. Okay, when you're hurt and exhausted, you need rest. But then there are sometimes you got to play when you're hurt. You got to play when you're a little scared. Play when it's a little painful. You still gotta show up when it's not great. You got to show up when you're not 100%. And I think that's what that means is we're not always going to be 100%, but we can still play. We're still in the game. We're not counted out. Um, and man, that touched me. I was like, I like that. I really like that. You got to push through even though it's may not be the best. And I'm like, man, I feel like that fits me right now. I was like, yes, pastor. So I wrote that down because I wanted to share that with you guys. Because I just thought that was a good thing. Sometimes you got to play hurt. However, you need to interpret that. But anyway, you guys. So thank you all so much for listening. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Y'all, we reached week 20 of my baby being alive. So we're gonna keep pushing forward. I am excited about just fall coming up and and my birthday tomorrow and um things progressing and continuing. But anyway, so yeah. Oh, wait, before I end it, now, if you want to listen to the next couple seconds, you can. But if not, I have a special message. So my mom was talking to me this week, and she mentioned to me that my aunt had told her that my little cousin Zora has been listening to the podcast lately and been enjoying listening. So this is a special message for my little cousin Zora, which is just, hey, this is your cousin Phoebe, but you can call me Auntie Phoebe. And Mom had mentioned that that she apparently there was, I guess, a part I sang that she enjoyed. I do not sing on the podcast. I'm like, that had been 2 seconds. But I was like, okay, all right, so I'm gonna do a special song for Zora. Not a whole song, because y'all remember remember what I mentioned about singing and then you hear yourself in the recording and you're like, but this is for Zora, okay? Here's my song. This song has been stuck in my head all day. And so this is what you get, girl, okay? All right. So this is good news. This is the good news. If you're breathing, it's for you. An empty grave, a life that's changed. It all points to Jesus' name. If you've been searching and nothing's been working, I've got good news. Jesus loves you. Da, 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 da. They go hard on that part, okay? That's why I had to go a little bit harder. But that's for you, Zora. Jesus loves you. And so does your Auntie Phoebe. Now, you may not enjoy that as much as the other ones, but I love you, Zora. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for listening. I hope y'all have an amazing next couple of weeks. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in a bit.